part 2 of Walker's update from the Lymphangiogram. So calcium channels, that is what now the theory is, because Gillespie Syndrome has to do with abnormalities in the calcium channels. This part gets very neurogenetics, which is a very specific specialty. Like this goes past like basic genetics. So calcium channels, from what I'm learning, are formed in the womb, and they function with each like ion and molecule in the making and creation of a human being. So these were created in the womb. So the question then becomes, if there's issues with the calcium channels, what are those issues? Right? Are there deficiencies where they're not functioning properly? The calcium channels, basically it's a valve, and like it allows calcium in and out of different organs, basically. So that was why Walker's blood pressure medicine, the amlodipine, is a calcium channel blocker. We think that it wasn't working properly for him because something in the calcium channel, we don't know what, was not functioning properly, and that blood pressure medicine was not able to properly work for him. So now we're fully off of the amlodipine, and the calcium channels and blood calcium are different. They're separate, but it is interesting that he has always had low blood calcium, always, and has needed supplementation for it. But now he's off of amlodipine. We've been able to stop his calcium supplements, and his blood calcium numbers for the first time ever are normal. It's very interesting. So the calcium channels, we want to find a doctor, and we're hoping that the NIH will be the ones to like drive the ship on this. We don't know for sure yet. I'm trying to get another call with them to discuss this. But I know for sure we'll talk with them more when the genetic results come back from the biopsies from his lymph nodes. So if for prayers right now, our prayer specifically is that the biopsies from the lymph nodes that were sent to genetics, that would give us answers with calcium channels, or an answer or a guide of where to go next, because that's been my biggest fear, that we did this whole test for nothing. And it wasn't for nothing. It did give us some answers, but not every answer. So with the calcium channels, my main question is like, or questions start with, how are they functioning? Are there not enough calcium channels? Are half working and half not? Are they deficient in some way, and like they're not properly opening and closing? Are they all blocked and shut? Or are they random? And then the question then becomes, how do we find that out? Is there a test, or is there something to look into where we can find that answer? And in turn, if we do find that answer, is there anything we can do about that? Is there a protein that is needed to make those work properly? Is there a medication that can be used to make those work properly? Does that medication even exist? Or is this something that is going to take a long time and need to be created? Is there certain medication, or not medications? Are there certain foods that can improve these calcium channels or rebuild them in a sense? And then vice versa. Are there medications and or foods that need to be avoided in these kids that can harm them in a way to where their calcium channels will work even less? And we've almost kind of proven that with Walker with amlodipine. So all this to say, this is a very rare genetic condition, and Walker is a very rare form of this very rare genetic condition. So from what we can see, this has not been researched, at least not in depth before. So we may be the first ones bringing this to light. And there have been articles published about this on the NIH. The geneticists that published these were in 2022, but they're all from Spain. So I have no way of contacting them, but it is through the NIH. So I will be able to use our contacts at the NIH to bring these articles to them and ask questions. But there's not one specific doctor that has been continuously following this and learning more about it. So that's also our prayer, is that there would be a neurogeneticist out there somewhere that would take our story and some of these other families' stories and make it almost their life's work to help us figure this out. And that is a big ask, because that sounds impossible. Because most of the doctors that we have talked to about this, we're back to square one, and we're back to starting over and convincing them of what's going on. And it's a lot of advocating. It's like on another level of advocating, honestly. And it's really scary, but I think we can do it. So that is our prayer, that there's a doctor out there that God would lay it on their hearts to take this on and research this with us and partner with these families to help get our kids answers. So that's everything for now. Yeah, I don't know where necessarily to go from here, but I do know that we are going to keep fighting and keep looking for answers and keep praying. So please keep praying for us and for Walker and for all these other families that could be impacted by this. And please share these videos, please. I don't know how this doctor is going to be found, but if this doctor sees these videos, that would be amazing. You'd be surprised at what social media can do. So share these videos. And let's see if we can find that doctor out there somewhere. But yeah, so that's everything. Thank y'all for supporting us and listening and following along, and I'll keep you guys updated as we continue. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.